You're listening to the Dirty Air Podcast.
Hey, let me hear some Skinner, brother.
It's in the face, Dillner. In the face.
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't know how to party.
And now, here are your hosts, Chuck Busch, Jonathan Merryman, and Matthew Dillner.
Welcome to another episode of the Dirty Air Podcast. We are coming to you today from deep in the bowels of the NASCAR Plaza here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Chuck Busch. I'm joined today by Jonathan Merryman and Matthew Dillner. Fellas, how are we doing?
I was doing well until you said bowels.
I'm out of here.
Dillner's wearing
You're
brown.
I'm wearing brown. Is there a coincidence here?
I don't know. What can Brown do for you?
I don't know.
You look like the official sponsor of NASCAR's Logistics, UPS.
I love logistists. I'm just saying.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Are you a logistical guy?
I'm a logistical guy.
How often do you use logic? Because I'm going to say it's not a lot.
I'm not using any on the show.
And in your
If you're
daily
asking
life, how often do you use logic?
Never around. Actually, I have to use a lot of logic around you to
Really?
keep the ship afloat.
Logic?
Logic.
Reason and logic, things that
He's wearing brown and talking about floating.
I'm not gonna touch that one. I'm gonna leave that one.
I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, not even with a 10-foot pole.
Old ships were made of brown wood, and they floated until they sunk.
Okay. Well, speaking of floating, Kentucky this weekend, there was a lot of rain, right? So you weren't there.
There's
No.
an arc there.
You weren't there.
Oh, well, no.
None of us were there.
So, wait, none of us were there?
None of us
okay,
were there.
Okay.
How are we going to talk about something that we weren't there
Let's
for?
just be honest.
We got
all
the
three of
TV.
us. Kentucky Speedway, that's what we're here to talk about. But real quick, where were you?
I was in the edit bay on floor number 4.
So you're working. That's good.
Number floor.
floor.
Chuck, where were you?
He was
I was
sitting
sitting
behind me.
behind him in the edit bay.
So you were working.
I
oh,
was working
crap,
too.
This backfired on me.
Where
You
were
were trying to say that, we weren't doing anything. Yeah, we were actually watching the race live
Yeah,
and cutting the
I didn't. I
highlights
had to
that you could
DVR it.
see on NASCAR.com each week.
I DVR'd it. Then I watched our race recap and all the different videos afterwards. I was with my nephew Blaze at Bowman Gray Stadium, NASCAR's oldest weekly racing track.
Did you get you a hot dog?
I got myself a hot dog at JS Pulliam's, of course, beforehand, which is a tradition. Winston-Salem, been open since 1910. Watch some good NASCAR short track racing.
Hang on, say that again.
Watch some good NASCAR short track racing.
Can you say NASCAR again?
NASCAR.
No, the first time you say you're NASCAR.
NASCAR.
It's like, I'm at Bowman Gray, NASCAR.
The accent.
You're from Long
sometimes-
Island. Sometimes,
I've been living in the
sometimes you
South
get
for
the
quite a
NASCAR.
while, so-
You get the NASCAR. You get the different
I was
A.
hanging out with my boys' dad, NASCAR. We'll go see Winston-Salem, see some modifieds.
Oh yeah. You're
Is
gonna go
that
up
the
the
New York?
Islip.
Well,
Yeah.
that's since '84, so it'd be Riverhead now.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
Blunderbuss
Yeah.
division.
Oh, the Blunderbuss
The
division.
Blunderbuss division.
Isn't there a video of you talking about the Blunderbuss
Yes.
division?
Yes, Kyle Busch had to reference it in Victory Lane a few weeks ago and
Did he?
embarrassed me. But
Yeah. Well, where is that video?
let's not find it.
Do we? We've got it somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's for another episode.
I really wish I could go like we've got it here right now. Let's just roll that tape.
Thank God we're not that prepared.
Prepared? Us?
Nah.
No, never. But speaking of prepared, Kentucky, everybody was prepared to test this car and to test all this stuff. Got 2 hours of it, and guess who goes out and wins the race?
I don't know. Tell me.
You didn't watch?
No.
Thought you said you were in the edit bay watching and cutting highlights.
Crispy, okay?
It was a crispy
Very
finish.
crispy.
They were on the crispy edge.
I thought that was cool during the burnout that Kyle Busch said.
Yeah.
And as Adam Stevens first said, crispy, and then he was like, "We're on the crispy edge." That's great. That's awesome. That's fun.
No, it was a really it was a good race. Kyle Busch, I mean, how many passes were there? I mean, it was just, everybody was passing everybody, and Kyle Busch just goes out there and wins.
Well, we had our producer give us a stat. Which one of us is going to look smart and say it? I've got it right here. So
You've got it right
basically,
here?
now this isn't our producer being smart or us being smart because it was
2,000
actually
and
provided to us.
something.
But 2,665 passes.
What's the
green
old
flag
record?
passes. The old record, 1,147 green flag passes. So if you want a statistical proof of this package working, Well, there you go.
But not even the package. Let's talk about this guy right here, Kyle Busch. Getting the win, his second of the season, after sitting out for, how many weeks was it?
If he doesn't hit anything, he's good.
5 weeks.
Hey, haters going to hate, okay? The last few...
Not 5 weeks.
After the injury, coming back, people saying, is he going to be able to make it in the chase? The haters are going to hate. They all said, nah, he's not going to do it. Then he gets to win in Sonoma. Then they say, well, he's still got to get 30th in points. He's so far back. Now he gets a win at Kentucky. He's within 87 points.
He's 35th.
35th in points.
87 out of
87
30.
out, and he's got a handful of races here to go. It looks like Kyle Busch has put himself,
He's on
that team, the 18 team has put themselves in position to get in this chase, and that's one heck of a run.
He controls his own destiny. I'd rather be where he's at than where some of the guys who are floating around 16th without a win. I'd rather be where Kyle Busch is at, personally.
No doubt.
With that chip on his shoulder.
No doubt.
I mean, it's a crispy chip.
Winning feels good, baby.
It does.
That's it.
And I mean, winning breeds more winning. And we've seen that now. I mean, that's what, out of the last 3 weeks, he's won twice. And he almost wrecked out at Daytona, but was able to save it and get that finish that he needed coming out of there. And then he backs that up with a win at a track where he has historically been pretty good.
Well, you just look at this whole package. What Jonathan said, I think, nailed it on the head. You look at guys like Greg Biffle and Kyle Larson and on down through the points there, maybe in 17th or 18th. And you think a guy that's in 35th in points is in better shape than them? Well, with this new format, that's true. He's got 2 wins in his back pocket. All he's got to do now is average, I think it's like a 20th place finish. And right now, they're hot. Once that 18 team gets hot and Kyle Busch gets hot,
I think right now he still has to average a 16th or 17th place finish.
17th.
If he were to get another win, if he goes out and he gets one more win, he's one in control of his own destiny at that point. But for a team like this, if they have to average a 16th, 17th place finish for the next 8-9 races, I think that is legitimately a doable thing.
He gonna do it.
He gonna go out there and do it?
We're gonna go back to that Winston-Salem speak. He gonna do it.
You gonna do it?
He
Put
gonna
the
do
stamp on it.
Yeah.
Put a stamp on it. Are you saying today, Jonathan Merryman,
If I was in Vegas, I'd gamble on Kyle Busch
you'd
making
say
the chase.
Kyle Busch in the
It
chase?
ain't even a gamble right now.
Yeah, no,
it's not a gamble. Kyle Busch just won 2 races, 2 of their last 3. The 18 team's back. Kyle Busch is back. He's hunting for it. 87 points to make up. He's got this.
He's got this?
Yes.
All right. You heard it here. Probably not first. There's probably some other people that have said it before we did. But you heard it here at some point. 10th, Kyle Busch going to make the chase.
And even if he doesn't make the chase, imagine the havoc that they will wreak on those last 10 races. People are,
Traditionally, he's not that strong in the last 10 races, statistically. But this is a different Kyle Busch. We've all said Kyle Busch is going to mature. Kyle Busch is going to turn into a championship race car driver. This is probably the best example we've seen of it, coming through such adversity and coming back and having adversity when he came back on the track, like at Michigan, where he hit the wall, lost it and hit the wall, and to rebound and power through all of that adversity to get 2 wins and be putting themselves in a position here. That's a different Kyle Busch than we've seen.
not being able to walk for a couple months.
Does that
puts
mature
things-
you?
I think that puts a lot in perspective. And he had a kid on the way at the
Yeah.
time.
Little Brexton.
Yeah.
It's like you said, we're seeing the maturity of Kyle Busch, and
And how about the baby boom, by the way? We just mentioned Brexton. 2 weeks in a row, we've had a new baby in Victory Lane.
well, and this week you had
2 weeks
2
in a row.
babies in Victory Lane because when Brad Keselowski won the Xfinity Series race, got his jukebox, he's got his baby in Victory Lane, and then the next night,
2 baby debuts in Victory Lane.
well,
That's awesome.
Wasn't Brexton in Michigan?
yeah, Brexton.
Oh,
was
he
it.
wasn't in
Wait,
Michigan. No, it wasn't
Sonoma. No, he wasn't in Sonoma.
Sonoma.
But the
He wasn't in
Xfinity,
Victory Lane.
the
Shot that down,
Xfinity
yeah.
Series race,
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
because he won that.
So it wasn't a
Because
debut.
Kyle didn't win.
yeah, the Cup
in
race.
Michigan.
Yeah.
His brother did,
yeah.
but he does not have a baby.
Yeah. No, Kurt, no.
You're listening to stat analysis from 3 guys who think they know what they're talking about.
And they don't have babies.
You have one on the way.
That doesn't count yet.
It's a quasi baby right now. It's not actually a real baby yet.
What?
I don't know. Moving on.
Moving on. So Danica and Dale.
What about it? I mean, nothing
Nothing
happened.
happened.
Nothing happened. Between Danica and Dale.
Nothing happened between
Nobody's
Danica and
talking
Dale.
about it either.
Danica, Dale had brake issues all night long. And then
He broke Danica's
well,
heart.
I think the best way to do this is let's just go to the sound and let's take a listen to the little tiff between Danica and Dale. So let's take a listen to that.
Did he hit me?
Oh, yeah. He said he didn't have any brakes. We'll see.
Go yourself. I mean, really? Didn't have any brakes. Why would you drive in underneath me? Weren't you thinking about that? Maybe the corner before that?
He drove right up to your bumper is what he did.
Guess what's going to happen out here with no brakes on a race car? I don't even know why we're out here. Bumped them all the way down the back straightaway and all the way into the corner, all the way to the floor.
So, really? He said I lost my brakes?
Well, no brakes all night. They had to bleed them off anyway during pit stops all race, so it certainly could be true.
I think you'd pick another lane, maybe.
So there you heard Danica Patrick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. discussing the incident on the track. If you're listening to this in iTunes, you only heard the audio. If you're watching on YouTube or NASCAR.com, you were able to see the incident. But for those listening, Dale Earnhardt Jr. basically had no brakes and runs into the back of Danica Patrick.
Slowed him down enough, he didn't hit the wall.
Beep. He hit the wall earlier in the race.
Yep.
So were you saying he used Danica to slow himself down?
I think she was just there. He couldn't go anywhere. It's
I mean,
not like he wrecked her on
yeah.
purpose. I mean, she drove his car in the Xfinity Series for a couple seasons.
They were having trouble with the brakes. And by the way, we have water. We don't have any soap if you want to wash up after all that foul language.
Yeah.
But which was entertaining as all get out. But the bottom line is, I mean, I've raced a race car before. I've never raced a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car. I don't claim to be a big-time racer or anything. But there's no worse feeling when you're in a race car than going down into the corner and you step on that brake pedal and it goes all the way down to the floor. There's nothing worse than it. And Dale Jr. knew he had brake troubles. Could he have picked a different lane? Maybe. Did he think he was going to run into Danica? No. He didn't do it on purpose. That's clear. It's clear by his response. It's racing.
Well, and then you see on pit road after that, she retaliates, if you will, and tries to bump him out of the way. And
he was just as mad as she was. He was mad as heck on that radio, saying, "Man, this is what happens when you don't have brakes." So it's not like he did it on purpose. Danica, I could see why she's torqued up.
And she doesn't
Somebody
know.
runs into the back of me, I'm going to be torqued up too.
And she doesn't know that he is having. I mean, they told her, but at that moment when it happened, she had no idea that his brakes were failing.
This is an emotional sport. You get run into in the back, no matter if it's on purpose or not, you're going to get ticked off.
I drove a U-Car at Franklin County Speedway once.
Yeah, baby.
I ran into just about everything and had a smile on my face when I was doing it. I got out of the car. These people wanted to beat me up. I didn't mean to hit anybody. I didn't know what I was doing.
I just did it. Yeah.
I never hit anybody when I raced. I was so very clean.
Really?
Yeah.
Never hit anybody.
14-year-old went into the wall. It wasn't my fault. He's driving too hard off the corner trying to hit me back.
Well, we did a little go-kart trip a couple of months ago, and I am by no means a race car driver.
Jerry was.
You would look good in an open face helmet with all that beard, though.
Well, I've done that before on NASCAR.com. If you look at the Chase tricycle race that we did a couple of years ago, heading into Homestead when Jimmy and Kenseth were running for the championship. No, but racing go-karts, sometimes you do things and you kind of feel bad, but I don't know.
There goes your voice going up octaves again. I think the bottom line, the bottom line is, I mean, we can look at this thing 8 different ways, and the only people that know are the people in those race cars. Danica and Dale Jr. Both of them have different sides. Dale Jr. even said afterwards, "It's not like I picked her name out of and targeted her. I mean, it just happened."
Yeah. Well, if you look down through the field of those 43 who were in that race, at one point or another, whether they were at the top of their game or whether they were at the bottom of the totem pole, they've all run into people.
Oh, yeah.
On accident.
And the fact of the matter is, afterwards, he said that he hated that he actually ran into Danica because he knows when you run into Danica, you're going to get attention. Everybody's talking. Look,
we're talking
all
about it right
talking
now,
about it.
And when you bump Dale Jr. on pit road,
you're going to talk about it.
Junior Nation
don't mess around.
Yeah, that's not a fan base I want to irritate.
No, definitely. But I think the other thing that we're overlooking with this is that, again, this was an exciting race.
Yes.
I mean, normally mile-and-a-half tracks can be, at times, if the rules aren't set up the right way, it can get to be a parade lap. But this proves that with the right setup in these cars and the right conditions on the track, doesn't matter how big or how little the track is, you can have exciting racing.
Well, Kentucky's never been my favorite track anyways. And if we're going to have racing like that at Kentucky, and I'm a fan and not working a race, I'd buy a ticket and go out there and watch that.
I mean, this rules package was awesome.
It was
and everybody's
great.
been talking about it, and there's a reason. Nobody wants to sit here and talk about rules, okay? Nobody at school wants to talk about rules. Nobody at home wants to talk about rules. But the bottom line is this rules package provided great racing. That shorter spoiler, and the drivers even said it's not dialed in 100%. I mean, Jeff Gordon, a few of them, made the point that these tires now don't match this rules package,
Right.
but they're going to work on that and get that better.
Well,
So it's only going to go uphill.
They're constantly looking at what the drivers are saying and what the stats are showing them, and they're working to improve, which I think is just, you're only going to get greatness out of that. If everybody's working together to make the product better.
That's the big thing. They're listening to the drivers. They're listening to the teams. In the past, sometimes we've gone the wrong direction as a sport, and they at least have admitted that, and we're working with the drivers, working with the teams, and we're getting somewhere with it. And the bottom line is it's race cars. You put them on a track and race, okay? But this is going to provide good racing because it's more fun for the drivers because they can pass, and it's in their hands now. It's not mechanical grip. It's not, it's the driver themselves controlling it.
Well, and I don't know if I would say that, NASCAR went the wrong direction.
The sport has gone at times, yeah.
What happens is, you're constantly trying to improve and you're experimenting with stuff. And sometimes when you experiment,
you go in the wrong direction.
But you learn something from it.
Exactly. And that's
And
what,
then
what I'm saying. They're learning and now they're going.
You're constantly trending in that upward direction to where, you're leveling the playing field for everybody. You're making it more competitive. And you're just going to end up with a better product on the track. Agree or disagree?
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. That's what I'm saying. We went the wrong direction arrow-wise, and now we're coming back.
And you talked about it. The drivers were talking about it after the race. And let's take a listen to what a couple of the drivers, especially some JGR drivers, which they had one heck of a day. But let's listen. We've got Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, and Carl Edwards talking about their runs at Kentucky and what they thought about the rules package.
I know I won, but so far so good. I like the new aero package, obviously, but it just seemed like you weren't stuck. Logano kind of moved up and blocked my lane, and with the old package, you just kind of get stalled out and you'd get stuck behind him. And this one here, I could kind of move around. I went back to the bottom and made a move on him to pass him low.
I thought it was an improvement. I felt like we can enter behind each other, and the effect of being behind a car wasn't as big. So I think that's good. You're never going to get rid of it completely. We're going too fast, but I think directionally it was correct.
I came from 2 laps down. I passed a ton of cars throughout the day. There was a pass for the lead inside of 15 laps to go. So can't really complain a whole lot.
I cannot say enough positive things about this direction NASCAR is going with less downforce. I mean, I felt like a race car driver tonight. I could actually drive a car. I was steering and sliding. I about wrecked a few times. It just felt like I was doing something. I wasn't just sitting in line. So really excited about the racing. I hope it looked good.
So that was Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Carl Edwards. And you heard Carl Edwards say it there at the end. I felt like a race car driver.
Oh, Carl wants more.
Oh, he definitely
Carl
wants more.
Wants a spoiler
I want
going.
more.
Carl would say, "See you later, spoiler. Give me a little bit of a softer tire." That's what Carl Edwards would say.
Well,
he's loving it.
A lot of them are talking about it puts it back in the driver's hands. They really have to drive these cars now. It's not an issue of downforce. It's the car.
Well, their goal was to make them lift off the gas, lift off the throttle more in the turns, and have to lift off the throttle, and they've accomplished that. Now, if they progress with a newer tire, a different tire, you look at the tweets that some of these people talking about this package. It has gotten rave reviews from everybody.
Matt Kins is saying, besides winning, this is the most I've had at a 1.5-mile track in a long, long time.
Yeah, and everybody looking at the tweets saying
Keselowski enjoyed it.
things.
Gives teams to figure it out, though. give the teams time to figure it out. What's going to happen then?
Oh, I mean, the bottom line is everybody's on an equal playing field, no matter what rules package you're at. Some teams are going to excel with this. Some teams are not going to. It's really going to be some drivers are going to excel at it, and some drivers aren't.
I mean, you saw it going into the turns. 3 wide battles, 2 wide. I mean, you even were talking about this Jonathan Merryman. A little bit of old school stuff coming back.
Jeff Gordon moving Kyle Larson out of the way, crossover moves and stuff
awesome.
like that. That's what I want to see when I go watch a race.
That's racing, man.
I mean, because your short tracks that's where you're going to use the bumper. But if you can manipulate the air off somebody's car and drive down low, they get ahead of steam, come back at you. That's side by side. That's passing. That's what we want to see.
Well, in the past, if Jeff Gordon went up to do that, sometimes that car would get stalled.
Jeff's car would be the one to get loose because it'd take the air off the nose, and they were so aero dependent. Jeff was the one to slide up the track. Then you wreck somebody. Now,
you just move them.
Just move them.
Just get them out of the way, and then you can go on by.
It's equivalent of beeping the arrow horn.
The arrow horn. What does an arrow horn sound like?
So what we're saying is there's less dirty air. So we're just going to suck in all the dirty air here. That's all ours.
But
hog it all here.
The clean air at the track, though. I mean, I know you're referencing the title of our show, but drivers talked about this too. The fact that the clean air isn't as much of an advantage anymore.
Yep.
You're able to run down that guy that's out there in the clean air. So, I mean, we were talking about it Saturday. It was just fun to watch. And, when they go once they got spread out after the restart and you see somebody going up to make that pass, it's like, all right, are they going to be able to make that pass in the turn?
And 22 green flag passes for the lead, too. You're talking about passes.
And we had some 3 wide teammate battles as well, which
they were bad. I mean, Joe Gibbs Racing, all 4 of their cars were in the top 5, and they got a win.
Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, I went to Bowman Gray Stadium and watched some short track racing with my nephew.
Sure, bragging hard about that.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's
I enjoy grassroots.
I went to Bowman Gray.
I enjoy.
I was working.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes I might DVR a race.
I thought you were going to say sometimes I'm a diva.
No, I am always a diva. But sometimes you DVR the race. Sometimes you watch the whole thing. Sometimes you just watch the highlights. That was an exciting race to watch.
Did you watch the whole thing?
You couldn't resist watching that race.
Also, like the day to night transition, when the track changes, you have to keep up with it. Sometimes
I like day racing better.
I mean, I like day racing. Don't
That's
get me
another
wrong.
story.
But sometimes when the track changes, the fastest person at the beginning of the race isn't the fastest one at the end. You have to keep up with it. It makes the crew chiefs work as well as the drivers, but turned out pretty well for Kyle Busch.
Speaking of day racing, we're going back to it this week.
Oh, yeah.
Heading up to the Live Free or Die state, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Here we go. You're going up to New Hampshire there.
It's going to be wicked awesome. You're going to New Hampshire.
Dude, we're both going to New
Hampshire.
I'm
going to New Hampshire. Jonathan's not going to New Hampshire.
Jonathan's not going. No lobster for you.
No lobster.
Haddock and clams for you. Oh, my.
You can go get some rainbow trout down here somewhere at one of the fish camps. He's moving. All right. I will give you
We got out of helping him.
You got out of helping. Your wife's still going to be helping him.
Oh, no. She's
with that
not.
baby, she's going to be like picking up pianos
Hey,
and stuff.
Just Jonathan, if you have a small box, just rest it on top of her belly, her baby belly, and she'll just walk up the stairs. It's perfect.
I got some people going to pick the boxes up so she doesn't have to.
I don't even think you're going to pick up a box, are you?
No.
If I don't have to do it,
he's going to be drinking sweet tea and watching TV.
That's my goal in life.
Except I'm going to drink it out of a straw.
Past couple of times I've moved, it's been in the middle of summer, and it's not fun.
A straw, unless
you do.
Unless you're Bojangles, you got Bojangles or
Chick-fil-A. Are you calling him Bojangles?
No, unless you have that. Unless you have Bojangles in a to-go cup. Drink that sweet tea off the rocks. It's better.
Wait, hang on. Wait, I don't know if this is something that I can abide. Someone from Long Island.
I've been down here since 2000.
That doesn't mean anything. I've been down here since 1983.
We don't tell
it's not like I just came up with this.
We don't tell you how to
These
drink
guys love to pick on me about.
We don't tell you how to drink your Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
I don't drink Long Island iced tea.
That's
you
unfortunate.
Should. Slow off the rocks.
Yeah, slow off the rocks. That really.
You know how I drink my sweet tea?
How do you drink your sweet tea?
As sweet as I can get it.
So sweet that you could almost get a cavity by taking one sip?
Basically, yeah. I kind of go into shock when I drink it.
We should all drink sweet tea. While
I don't
we do
sleep
the
for
show.
3 days
Well,
when I drink
next
sweet
week,
tea.
let's just do it.
I went to. I didn't have sweet tea, but I went to Lola's today for lunch, so I'm a little bit lethargic because Wednesday is barbecue pork chop day at Lola's across
Fried
from the
barbecue
NASCAR Hall
pork
of Fame.
And it's so good.
Oh man, some black eyed peas and some collard greens. That, I mean, every time I eat that, I think of New Year's Eve or New Year's Day because it's the Southern meal that you have pork and green and beans on New Year's Day because you think of money, luck, and the other one. My mom's gonna kill me because I can't remember what the other one is.
And you're gonna pick on my lack of Southern culture.
You ever have country ham?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love country ham.
Stacey Compton's mom used to make me country ham biscuits every time she come to the racetrack. Just go to the back of the hall.
He's from pretty close to where I'm from.
Virginia boy.
I hear Stacey Compton's mom's got it going on when it comes to cooking.
Dude, when it comes to country ham biscuits, nobody does it better.
Does she?
I don't think
have,
you got
have
the
you,
reference.
I did the song.
The song, yeah. That's just,
You should have acknowledged it more.
yeah, you should have acknowledged it. Again, we digress. So, New Hampshire racing, because we are in the NASCAR building, so we need to talk about New Hampshire. It's a great track. I've been up there a couple of times now, and I really do enjoy this.
There's the lobster.
If you're looking
Lenny
on
the
YouTube,
Lobster.
you can see Lenny the Lobster.
Macris Seafood right down the block provides that victory lobster to the winner, and great racing. New Hampshire has gotten a bad rap sometimes as far as not being maybe the most exciting. No, you ask any fan that goes up to New Hampshire, and they have the modifieds, the K&N East Series, the NASCAR Touring Series, and then you have NASCAR Xfinity Series and Cup. It's one of the best weekends for a race fan because the weather is gorgeous during the daytime in New Hampshire in July, and they see a quadruple header and awesome racing. The place races kind of like a short track because you have to really be on the brakes, then roll the center of the corner in New Hampshire. So the speeds slow down so much in the corners there. It's really fun to go, and it's really great racing.
Things were interesting last year there in the July race.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, last year you had a Penske sweep of this at this track at New Hampshire.
You did.
And
Joey Logano.
Logano could have swept.
He got swept up.
He got swept up.
Yeah.
And if you look, Joey Logano running so well at Kentucky, last week, we haven't seen him in victory lane for quite a while now, but they're getting really close to being back where they want to be. I talked to some of the guys on the team the other day, and they're really close to getting the 22 car in victory lane.
Both Penske cars, though. I mean, the 2 was fast at Kentucky.
Yep.
He won there in the Xfinity race. I mean, it might be tough to beat Penske this weekend in New Hampshire.
I would agree with that. But, I picked the 48 on the preview show.
You picked the 48 on the preview show?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with him. But,
So you're saying the 48 is going to be lifting that Macris lobster at the end of the day?
That's what I'm saying.
The bottom line is a few people doubted after this race. Well, Jimmy Johnson, he finished, I think it was 9th, at Kentucky with this new package. Jimmy Johnson can wheel a loose race car. We've all talked about it before. If anybody doesn't think he can, forget about it. But I think when you say anything about Jimmy Johnson, he gets a little extra chip on his shoulder. So I think his pick, although it's not my pick, is a very smart pick at New Hampshire. I hate to just agree with you because it's boring. I'd rather disagree with you, but
that's fine.
We'll
fight
pick
later in the parking lot.
You're both picking Jimmy Johnson?
I'll see you in the parking lot.
No, he said he's not.
Oh, he's not.
He wants to be contrary.
I'm going to go with the 22.
You're going to go with the 22?
I'm going with the 22. If I have to pick it right now, I'm going with the 22. Penske strong there last time. Joey Logano is got that confidence back. That team has the swagger back. They're going to victory lane. He's going to lift another lobster.
What about you, Chuck? You picking on Morgan Shepherd?
I don't know if I can pick Morgan Shepherd. I don't even think is Morgan.
That was just.
He was throwing last year's. But last
year.
year's Joey Logano, they kind of had that little incident in the race. I personally am going to go with
Jeff Gordon. You picking Jeff Gordon?
Am I going to pick Jeff Gordon?
I don't think he's going to pick Jeff Gordon.
I'm not going to pick Jeff Gordon.
Pick Kevin Harvick.
Really, Kevin Harvick?
I don't know. You going to pick?
You don't know who I'm going to pick.
Tell us already.
I'm going to go with Keselowski. I'm going to go Penske. So
go Penske or go home.
Yeah, I mean.
So Merryman, go home.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya. Although JGR and Penske past couple of weeks, they've both had strong machines. So
do you think Martin Truex is going to come back? Because he's had like 3 bad races in a row. You think New Hampshire is a place he can maybe do it? I mean,
he's been caught up in some stuff. He hadn't necessarily been running bad.
Bad luck.
So why not?
it's weird because the whole season they've run so strong. And
I was honestly pleasantly surprised at how fast they were with that new rules package too. That was one thing I was concerned about, and we talked about it earlier.
Yep.
Privately. Now it's out there. Truex. He surprised me. He did really well.
Well, his last few finishes at Loudon, he's been 12th, 12th, and 10th. So, knocking on the story of that team.
Or first?
Huh?
So, are you smelling an 8th place? They've been
I don't
better
know.
by twos.
But the thing is, they've been knocking on the door at. That's the story of this team.
I don't want to see that team cool off. It's been such a good story this year.
It would be awesome for that team to have a multiple win season.
It could happen. I mean, they're looking at expanding to a second car.
A lot of things going on there. And Sherry Pollux was in Washington, as an advocate to ovarian cancer on Capitol Hill. So many great storylines with that team this year. We just want, we want to see it continue.
Yeah.
Keep it going, guys.
Keeping it going.
Keep it going.
Maybe Truex will lift Lenny the Lobster.
Maybe. Oh,
but that seems to be a trend now.
Can you guys bring me some lobster back?
He's good with seafood.
It's not gonna keep well. I don't
Dry
think.
ice.
Well, I'll eat it. I don't think I could let fresh lobster go to waste.
Truex knows his seafood.
Yeah.
I mean, his father grew up on clam boats. And has his own clam
I didn't know
boats.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
Old man
cool.
Truex, besides being
Old man Truex in his clam boats.
Besides being a race car driver, he owns a ton of clam boats.
They're one and the same.
He's one of the largest clam distributors in the United States of America.
That is one heck of a stat. Where are you pulling this from? Or just your brain?
Wikipedia.
That is not an official source. I learned that in college.
Right here.
Right there?
Yeah.
In your glasses?
Martin Truex. Yeah. Martin Truex Sr., one of the biggest clam distributors in America.
Interesting. Well, Macros is distributing a lobster on Sunday. Rock lobster.
Oh,
but that's not the only cool trophy that we're seeing on the circuit. Kentucky last week, they had a Jukebox.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
It's cool.
That's cool.
A lobster is a cool trophy. A Jukebox is a cool trophy.
Well, you can't really bring home a lobster, can you? I mean, you can eat it.
Well, I mean,
can you get a taxidermy?
Yeah, I think you have to.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can pretty much taxidermy.
Now that would be cool.
Anything.
So much better than just a regular trophy.
Yeah.
A cup.
But you can drink out of cups.
Yeah, you can.
You can eat ice cream out of cups.
This is just.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy with his ice cream? You're thinking of ice cream. It is a hot day here in Charlotte, North Carolina today.
The walk to work was nice, though.
Well, you were walking in the morning. Try walking out there now.
I'm going to be walking home in the evening time, Chuck.
In the evening time.
But that jukebox was cool.
Yeah, it was. Which got me thinking. If you had
trouble.
Yeah. If you had a jukebox, what 3 songs would you pick for your Matthew Dillner, Jonathan Merryman jukebox?
You asking me first?
Do we have a jukebox together?
No. Jonathan, what are your 3 songs?
I don't want
Go.
your stinking songs in my jukebox.
I've got some good songs.
Ray Charles, America the Beautiful.
Oh, good one.
Damn Yankees High Enough. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin's walkout music.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's walkout music?
Hey,
I mean, it's a song for every
sing that
occasion.
damn Yankee song? Can you get up that high?
Can you take me high?
A couple weeks ago, and I sang that in the car to my wife when it was on the radio.
And she left you?
She wanted to murder me.
Oh, that's strong.
I can't sing it because that's copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can get 6.
You could get about 6 seconds worth.
Yeah.
And
that's why I didn't
I was like Ted
finish
Nugent.
the lyric I just said.
Any time that you have a music video to go along with that where Ted Nugent jumps out of a house
I mean, it's awesome.
in a zebra trench coat while he's being shot at and just plays guitar while bullets deflect off of him.
I mean, because he's Ted Nugent.
There's nothing else better than that.
Well, let's see if there's anything else better than that. Matthew Dillner, what are your 3 songs?
I don't know, that's pretty good. And for a northerner here, as much as I get picked on, all 3 of my songs I think would be country.
Country?
Really? No Marky
Yeah.
Mark and the Funky Bunch?
No.
Now, country
I'd have to go,
or country?
Bro country?
I'm talking. I'm not talking bubblegum country.
Let's find out.
I'm not talking this new age.
Well, let's
country.
see what you're talking about when you say country.
I'd have Waylon on mine too, just for the record.
Waylon.
You already had your 3, Jonathan.
Yeah, you already had your 3.
It's Matthew's turn.
If
we
it
had
only
10,
holds,
we could
It
just
is
list
Matthew's
10.
turn. Let Matthew talk. Go, Matthew.
Okay. you always have to have some Johnny Cash in there. So I think, yeah.
But which Johnny?
When the Man Comes Around.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Okay. I was going to say Man in Black, but no, the Man Comes Around is awesome. Then I'd have to pick the greatest actor in the history of American cinema.
Chris Christopherson?
Kenny
Rogers.
Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. Love Will Turn You Around, the soundtrack of my favorite racing movie, Six Pack, would be number 2. And then number 3 would probably have to be my favorite song of all time. Hank Williams, the original, of course, not Hank Jr. Hank Williams, Lost Highway.
Okay. Yeah. No,
I'm a Rolling Stone.
That is literally all country music.
Thank you.
And
Thank
good
you for
country
not
music.
doubting me.
No, I didn't doubt you. I spent 3 weeks in an RV with you. I know you like actual country music. Because, I mean, that was sort of our soundtrack rolling through the desert.
Yeah, we rolling through the desert. We had one heck of a playlist going between your iPod and my iPod. It was amazing.
It was good.
Chuck's got some weird things on his iPod.
I do. Not going to lie.
iPod. It's
I pretty much like music ranging from Mozart to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Chuck
to pretty much anything in between.
Chuck DJ'd the Ford Transit van in Sonoma, and I wanted to jump out of.
But there were some good songs in there too.
Good stuff in Chuck's. He's got some strange stuff.
He
in
played
his
some
iPod.
Lynyrd Skynyrd, some good like Southern rock music, but then he played some stuff that I was just like, I don't understand what you're saying, and I don't want to listen to it.
But that's sort of my iPod too. I mean,
yeah, he's got polka like that. Like, and it's weird. There's like some Disney tunes in there too. I think he's got
the Cars soundtrack.
I'm a big DMX guy.
No, DMX is good. That was
I like
anything
anything from rap to Sinatra to Static X and whatever. Bring it. If it's music, I listen to it.
I like that. I do.
You like Rebecca Black's Friday?
Actually, he actually does.
I actually do. We used to play that song right before Garage Cam on Fridays, and the entire NASCAR.com truck wanted to kill me.
I'm sorry,
but it really was good because it got them going, and we got out of the truck quicker.
Yeah, but it was still Rebecca Black's Friday.
Rebecca Black is awful, but that song is so bad.
It's so bad it's catchy.
It's so bad it's good. Just like this show.
True.
Woo!
Very true.
Talking to the mic.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was multitasking.
Chuck, what about your 3?
Oh, what about my 3? Well, okay. So,
like he's not going to tell his 3.
I'm probably going to go with the Beatles' Revolution.
I don't like the Beatles.
But not
I'm not coming over to your house.
Not the basically
He didn't
rock
invite
version.
you.
It's I never invited you to my house.
Good, because I wouldn't have
Did you
accepted.
wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Were you under the impression that we were friends?
No, I just wanted to throw that out there so I
Okay.
didn't get an invitation, so I wouldn't feel obligated to come.
Well, see, yeah. Don't worry. I wasn't going to invite you over. So it's all good. But no, Beatles Revolution, not the rock and roll version, the more acoustic version.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to have to go with little Conway Twitty, The Rose. And then this one's Tuft. Tuft? Tough. Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Look
looking.
at this guy. He's wearing plaid. He has a beard. His hair is kind of combed over, okay? And he's going straight out of Compton.
But that is one of the most influential songs of the early 90s. And I'm really looking forward to the movie coming out in August.
Who was your favorite member? You an Eazy-E guy? Or are you a Dre
I like
guy?
Dre because that was pretty much my youth.
I'm a Cube dude.
I like Cube too, though.
I like Ice Cubes.
Like Today Was a Good Day is a great song.
Dillner likes cubes of ice.
He does.
Around his
This so he
sweet
can
tea.
sip it slow
And by the
off
way,
the rocks.
we're talking about music today. I didn't plan this. I have a Muddy Water shirt on. So thus, the diversity of my musical taste.
Oh, I mean,
you gotta love Muddy Waters, man. You gotta love the blues.
Welcome to
blues,
America, where you
jazz,
can like anything you want.
But see, that's the thing. All of the music that we listen to now is just an accumulation of all of the music from the past, which is why my and your musical taste are so diverse. Diverse? Wow, I'm adding T's to things today. I did Tuft and diverse. Once, twice.
3 times a lady.
3 times a lady. I could probably have a whole show just talking about music and it would be fun, but we can't do that here. But what we can do
Is get back to racing?
is get back, well, not necessarily racing, but things that this show is about. And that's, America, freedom. So that leads us to this right here. Jonathan Merryman's Eagle fact of the week. What you got for us this week, Jonathan? As if you're watching on YouTube, you can see his eagle statuette.
But can I quickly tell these guys where this came from?
Yeah, you can. Where did you get that eagle statuette?
This was a housewarming gift from one of my buddies. He was coming to help me move into a house we rented in Fincastle, Virginia, right outside of Roanoke. Stopped at a gas station, saw this thing. It was my birthday.
It's a gas station eagle?
It's a gas station eagle statue.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it cost under $10.
All great things come from a gas station.
Yeah, there's some good things. So what is your fact, though?
Okay.
I want to know. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Since we're talking about aero packages this week, it's LinkedIn. So we're going to talk about the tail of the eagle, which would be the eagle spoiler.
Okay.
Okay. It does a lot much more.
A lot much more than you would think. It does a lot much more than you would think.
It's a lot more than just downforce, though. So the eagle's tail feathers can be spread to take advantage of thermals, otherwise known as updrafts, so it keeps them alift, if that's
a lift
word.
or a loft?
Either one. You see these animals, they're highly trained in aeronautics, okay? So they can see the air a lot like Dale Earnhardt could. Also, it acts as a brake when they're landing. That creates drag. It slows them down, kind of like what a spoiler does.
Exactly. So Eagles have spoilers, and NASCAR Sprint Cup Series cars do.
There you go. Eagles and NASCAR.
Boom.
Patriotic.
There's that eagle screech. I just like pushing the buttons.
I just like that we have an eagle on our desk and Bobby Allison.
It's a gas station eagle, though.
Gas station Eagles and Bobby Allison.
Gas station Eagles, Bobby Allison.
Nothing more American.
I mean, it's just, we've been all over the place today.
This show is a trip to the beyond.
Yeah, and then back.
Yeah.
Because we try and bring it back to racing. We got an exciting weekend coming up this week in Loudon, so be sure to look at everything on NASCAR.com. Also, today, posting on NASCAR.com if you're...
And this is so cool.
If it is Wednesday, or it could be Thursday, whenever you're listening on iTunes or watching on YouTube or on NASCAR.com, there's a great video that Matt Stricker did when you guys were down in Daytona. You took Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Miss Sprint Cup over to the archive.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool experience for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've been to the archive once over there, the ISC archives in Daytona, and you want to talk about an amazing collection of just artifacts and items and trophies and helmets, and it's just so great that we're paying attention to the past. Like places here at the Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the ISC archives there. But taking Dale Jr. in there, he was like a kid in a candy store. You saw it too when he walked in there. At first, it was like, all right, man, all right, this is kind of cool, looking around. And then halfway through it, it just seemed like he was all in. He was loving his time there. So make sure you check out the piece. It's pretty cool.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah,
in person and online.
So go check it out on NASCAR.com. Check out.
And if these people have eagle statues, they'd like to tweet me at Merryman Sports.
Yeah.
Send it to him. Maybe we can use your eagle statue on.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures of eagle statues on here.
I'll retweet.
You'll retweet
all of my 258 followers.
He really wants more followers.
Yeah, he does. He only has 258.
I don't have any friends.
We're gonna get.
Chuck doesn't want me over at his house listening to his 3 Jukebox songs.
Anyway,
and you're not going to New Hampshire to eat seafood and
beyond Garage Cam, because we're gonna have Garage Cam. So check out Garage Cam on NASCAR.com. Modifieds are going to be racing. Check out the race on Sunday. Just keep your browser locked on NASCAR.com.
Click on a bunch of stuff.
Follow at Merryman Sports, at Matthew Dillner.
Don't follow
at
me.
the Chuck Busch. Tweet at us about Dirty Air. Tweet at us about Garage Cam. Tweet at us about anything.
Life.
Dillner will respond to you.
I promise.
He probably will. So anyway, we've done it again. We've sort of just wandered through another 30, 40 minutes or so of your time.
If they stuck with us to this point.
If you stuck with us.
Something's wrong with you.
Or something's right with you.
Gold star.
So keep it up. Check us out on YouTube, on iTunes. Hopefully the RSS feed is working. Got a good test. But anyway, for everybody here at NASCAR.com, I'm Chuck Busch. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.